Hi guys, Brendan from TAT. So today I just want to quickly run over something that we should all be aware of, but a quick review of Alternator Overrun Pulleys. So we've had a couple this week where we've had some failures. One from a customer where we had told him about it, luckily, and he did have a failure, so at least we were covered and we had tried to do the right thing, but he went against our advice. And another one from a tow-in where a similar situation. So the Alternator Overrun Pulleys, we all should be aware of them by now. Many other names, one-way clutch, that kind of thing. So this is your new type of unit, and as we're all aware, I should be able to go one way so it turns nice and freely, whereas the other way it's locked up. So essentially a one-way clutch. Now, we should be checking these as during service, and the easiest way I find is just to have the engine running and turn it off, and we should see internally the fan is what you can mostly see of the alternator still spinning while the belt and the external drive system has already come to a stop. If need be, sometimes you'll even get a helper, the guy on the hoist next to you. Bring the revs up, might get to 2,000 RPM or just give it a bit of a blip, turn the car off, and as it comes down to decel, you'll get, on a good running system, you'll get quite a lot of internal free spin in that alternator after the external drive belt system stopped. If you see it locked up, it is a problem. So that's all these things were, and as you can see, you can get some pretty disastrous results. So that was a one-way clutch pulley. That one was a customer that we told him at his last service, look, this thing is direct drive at the moment, so no noises, nothing like that. As far as he knew, there was no problem, but we said, your alternator is now direct drive and there's something wrong with that pulley. I recommend you replace it. Didn't have too many kilometres on the car. It was well under 100,000, so you can replace the pulleys. Along with, we recommended a belt, and given the car, you need to start thinking of the whole system, the tensioner. I know it gets expensive, but you need to start thinking about harmonic balances as well. Now, in that case, that one, it was a pretty standard sort of thing as far as we wanted to replace the pulley, the belt, and the tensioner. A standard sort of drive belt service. Went against our advice. It comes in before the next service on a tow truck, and that thing had absolutely exploded. He went and found it on the side of the road as it went past him, sort of thing, and I was pretty amazed to see what it was. But basically, lucky it didn't damage some other stuff. That thing went flying through the engine bay and he was broken down. This other one, so it shows you a similar one. This was not a customer of ours, a tow-in basically, just off a blow-in. So not as much damage to the pulley itself, but certainly it is in direct drive, if you like. The thing's completely locked up. And it had seized that badly that we're missing a bunch of bearings and whatnot in there, but it's destroyed the alternator as well. Metal was coming out of this thing. And I assume, if he had a good mechanic, they probably told him that he needed to do the pulley as well, but we need to be letting the customers know why we need to do them. And for any guys who haven't seen, when we get this kind of direct drive and the one-way clutch pulley part of it stops, it is cause for concern. It puts a lot of strain on the tensioners and the rest of the belt system. A lot of guys by now probably would have experienced the chirping belt, and so they go and replace a tensioner because they see the tensioner wobbling around everywhere thinking it's the fault, when really it's that alternator pulley not taking its share of the load, putting a lot more load on the tensioner, and hence the tensioner wobbling around, the belt not getting the correct tension. Anyone who's played around with scopes will be quite aware of the fact that a combustion cycle of an engine as it goes through the RPM is not stable. You can see definite peaks and valleys as each of these combustion events happen. It's not a nice, stable, steady RPM, so the alternator is there to take a lot of that fluctuation in between combustion events, along with other points in the running of the engine. So it does have a function, and it does have catastrophic results, as you can see, when they do fail. So definitely something you need to check during servicing. Thanks, guys.